How much sleep should we get, and why aren't we getting it? Some ABCs of Z's in just a few minutes. First up today, Wall Street. Yesterday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed the day above 15,000. That's significant, but why? Well, for starters, it's never happened before. And that number, 15,000, comes from a complicated formula based on 30 stocks that are part of the Dow Jones average. Higher number equals higher value for those stocks. Those companies represent a variety of industries. The Dow gives an idea of how the stock market is doing, and the stock market is one indicator of how the U.S. economy is doing. So, when the Dow reaches a new record, it means investors are feeling more positive, experts seeing this as a sign that the U.S. economy is improving. Next, President Obama welcomed South Korean President Park Geun-hye to the White House yesterday. This is her first visit to the United States as South Korea's leader. The countries have been allies for decades, and as part of that relationship, the two countries run joint military exercises every year. A major part of this year's exercises wrapped up last week. Something else the U.S. and South Korea have in common, both countries have a tense relationship with North Korea. That country recently made threats against South Korea and the U.S. The tension has calmed down a little bit, but North Korea gave a new warning this week about military drills happening off the west coast of the Korean Peninsula.
See if you can ID me. I'm a country that has one of the world's only communist governments. I'm the fourth largest nation in size, but I have the world's second largest economy. I'm first when it comes to population. I'm China, and I became the world's second largest economy in 2010.
China took over that #2 economic ranking because its economy grew. It's something you hear U.S. politicians talk a lot about, economic growth. Usually it's considered a good thing. When a country's economy grows too much too quickly, there's a chance it can start supplying things that aren't in demand. Ivan Watson gives us one big example.
It's May Day, a national holiday here in China. And in this factory town, families have packed into this amusement park outside a big shopping mall, all taking advantage of the day off to have a good time. From the outside, this place looks like a festive boom town, but the view inside is very, very different. Take a look at this. This is the new South China Mall. When it opened more than 5 years ago, it was promoted as the world's largest shopping mall. But look at it today. The escalators are covered with sheets, the elevators aren't even working, and it is virtually deserted. A ghost mall, some people call it. There are almost no shops open in this entire place. In fact, it looks like there are very, very few retail tenants operating any businesses here at all. The ground is littered with garbage, and it smells like a lot of people have been using this place as a giant public bathroom.
It's here in this eerie urban landscape that we stumble across two Taiwanese businessmen who say the timing was bad for the new South China Mall.
You can't say just because you build it, it will work. You have to have enough demand first.
The businessmen say they're negotiating a deal to turn the failed shopping mall into an office park.
It's too early to say whether or not these Taiwanese businessmen will succeed in turning what was supposed to be a Venetian-inspired shopping experience into a profitable office center. But it's important to note, this is not the first ghost mall we've seen in China. These are perhaps an example of what happens when an economy tries to grow too big, too fast. You're bound to get some pretty big mistakes along the way. Ivan Watson, CNN, Dongguan in southern China.
Today's shout out goes out to Mr. Lowry's homeroom at the Lucaya International School in Freeport, Bahamas. Which of these refers to part of the sleep cycle? You know what to do. Is it RAM, REM, ROM, REM? You've got 3 seconds. Go. REM stands for rapid eye movement. It happens during sleep when you're dreaming. That's your answer, and that's your shout out.
You need more sleep. You've heard your mother say that, and many folks have listened. But according to a new survey, Americans, even really sleepy ones, aren't doing anything about it. We'll wake up and smell some facts. The Centers for Disease Control has called not getting enough sleep a public health epidemic. Why? Because those who don't sleep enough are more likely to be depressed, overweight, less productive, and many simply don't look as good as when they're sleeping enough. Don't you want to be beautiful? The Better Sleep Council reports that nearly half the people in America say they don't get enough sleep, but fewer than half of them take specific action to catch some Z's. That could be because many simply don't believe a lack of sleep is bad for you. 45% of guys, for instance, say that people can learn to live with less sleep. The Council, a nonprofit group supported by the mattress industry, calls that a myth. 80% of Americans say they get stressed or have trouble concentrating when they're sleepy, but fewer than 30% of them believe a lack of sleep can contribute to memory problems, heart problems, or diabetes. It can. So how much sleep do we need? For kids, it's 10 to 11 hours a night. Teenagers should aim for 8.5 hours or more, and adults, 7 and 9 hours a night. If you're not serious about getting enough sleep, the Council is hoping this will be a wake-up call. Our next story today, when a young person is diagnosed with cancer, can mean treatments, tests, doctor's appointments. For some families, just getting to the hospital is a struggle. That's where Richard Naris comes in. What he's doing in his community is why he's one of this year's CNN heroes.
It's paralyzing when you hear those words, your child has cancer. I know what those families are going through.
Sun's coming up.
It's extremely difficult. My son, he was diagnosed with cancer. It was such a horrifying time. We were fortunate we had rides to the hospital to bring Emilio, and many of the families don't have that support. Good morning! We found out that many of them were missing appointments. My name is Richard Naris. No child should miss their cancer treatment due to lack of transportation. Ready to go? All right. We give over 2,000 rides a year. Our furthest cancer patient is 120 miles away. Ride with Emilio plays an important part of their treatment. We get them here in a nice, clean environment and on time.
We live here. It's every day treatment. We want to fight. We're in this together. It's all I care right now, my daughter's life.
When you're fighting for your child's life, nothing else matters.
They pick us up in the morning and give us a ride back. They'll help us every step of the way.
70% of our families are Spanish speaking. Having a bilingual staff is extremely important. I feel like it's my obligation to help them navigate the system. Take good care of yourself.
Yeah.
From someone who's been there.
Thank you.
Even though he's passed away almost 13 years, he's the main force of this, and I feel that I'm the right person to help.
Teacher appreciation. If you're on Facebook, you can talk about your favorite teacher's most memorable lessons. Some of you have been sending us iReports.
Hi, I'm Tiffany.
I'm Hannah.
Our teacher is Mr. Johnson of Pendleton High School in Pendleton, Oregon.
He is most likely to teach a future president. Thanks for being such a great teacher.
See you in class.
Hi, CNN. I'm homeschooled, and I'd like to recognize my mom as the most dedicated teacher. Or you could say, my mom is the most amazing mentor ever.
Great job, y'all. Our last story today. It's normal for people to make requests of their government. These fourth graders got an immediate response. They were visiting New Jersey Governor Chris Christie when someone spotted a spider on the governor's desk. Bam! We don't know if the students actually asked Governor Christie to address the arachnid. He might have taken action into his own hand, but he did send out the video later on, so it seems like he was happy to engage in a little smack talk. It's time for us to bug out. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Bye now.